US President-elect Joe Biden has signalled that he wants to get to work immediately forming his administration. Biden is expected to start by naming a 12-member coronavirus task force later today, but his efforts may be hampered by President Donald Trump's continuing refusal to concede the election.
Greeted by chants of loser, the US presidential motorcade weaves its way to Trump National Golf Course for the second day in a row. Donald Trump taking a shot at forgetting an election loss. He spent the morning in stubborn denial of his defeat, refusing to concede to Democrat Joe Biden and giving air to disproven theories of election fraud. Several prominent Republicans in Congress have made supportive statements, saying the election's not over yet.
There's a lot of shenanigans going on here. If I were President Trump, I would take all this to court. I'd fight back. And from a Republican point of view, mail-in balloting is a nightmare for us. The post office is now the new election center.
Now more than other Republicans have expressed more confidence in the electoral process, while saying Trump's legacy will endure.
He is without question the most powerful voice in our party. He will have an enormous impact on our party going forward. I believe the great majority of people who voted for Donald Trump want to make sure that his principles and his policies are pursued.
With the Trump administration planning multiple legal challenges over the voting process, a concession speech still seems far off.
I'm joined now by Liz Schulke. She's a former campaign advisor to Barack Obama and a policy analyst. She's with us from Berlin. Liz, thanks for joining us. Democrats have obviously been focused on getting Trump out of office and getting into office themselves. Now that Joe Biden has to get to work, what lies immediately ahead?
I think what we're going to see first is what he's already announced, a potential COVID czar. The pandemic didn't care that we had an election. As you saw, there were tons of Trump rallies as well, quite frankly, on the Democratic side. When the win was announced, there were celebrations in the streets. I think we're going to see a surge in corona cases. And so Joe Biden correctly is going to pivot the very first thing, kind of negative day one right now, even before he's in office, tackling the pandemic, as well as probably continuing this language he has around reaching across the aisle, being an American president for all, and trying to bring that unity we so desperately need.
And what about a transition? In 2016, President Obama invited Trump to the White House just a few days after the polls closed. Trump has yet to concede defeat in this election. What could that mean for a transition of power?
One of the strongest parts of American democracy is that peaceful transition of power. We saw it in 2000 and we saw it in 2016 when Biden invited Trump to the White House. If Trump does not concede before Inauguration Day, what that really doing is hampering President-elect Biden's chances of really hitting the ground running. I think across the government, you're going to see more high-level figures supporting this transition of power. It's a cornerstone of our democracy. But if Trump does not signal it, it's going to continue that unrest and discomfort that you're seeing in the American people around accepting that this is going to happen.
And looking past January, I mean, we won't know yet if the Republicans keep their Senate majority, but it's looking likely that Joe Biden could be leading a split government, with Majority Leader Mitch McConnell therefore playing a huge role. What's their relationship like?
President Obama actually selected Joe Biden probably in part because of his strong ties on Capitol Hill. He's known as somebody that can reach across the aisle and form really strong bonds. So any Democratic president coming in right now would have a really hard time with Mitch McConnell. But I think anyone that can do it would be President-elect Biden. I think we're going to see a lot of challenges if there is a split government around cabinet picks. which is really upsetting because that's going to just grind government to a halt. So I'm hoping that the Senate kind of puts country before party and is able to kind of approve those, get working, and really have those constructive conversations they need to about how do we work in a split government. And I think the best person for the job is President-elect Biden.
All right, Liz Schilke, policy analyst in Berlin, thanks very much for speaking to us.
Thank y'all.